Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Reese's Random Reviews. I am Reese, I'm about to give you a random review. And I hope everyone had a fantastic Halloween! And this was my costume. I was a robber, or a thief as you want to call me. And while wearing this yesterday, I actually got inspired because obviously I'm a villain technically, because robbers and thieves are technically villains sometimes, depending on what they're going to steal. I basically decided to come up with a new random review about my top 10 favourite live-action villains, as I've been doing a lot of top 10 things for my random reviews lately. So I thought, why not just continue and basically talk about, the evil people, the famous villains, that everyone loves and hates, and love and hate at the same time, or hate and love. Whatever, you either love villains or you hate them. But to me, I love villains. They're the best characters in the film. They get the best dialogue, the best music, the best scenes. And basically villains are my favourite characters more than the heroes and even the sidekicks. So I thought it'd be fun to do top 10 live action villains because obviously if I was going to talk about my top 10 many villains, obviously there's animated. There's machines like HAL 9000 out of 2001: Space Odyssey. There's all these different types of villains, and I thought live action would be better because that's the type of villains that you love more. Live action ones are always the best ones. So my next video after this, I'll definitely do my top 10 best animated villains. But today I'm going to do my top 10 live action. Okay, so remember, these are villains that have been played by actual actors, no special effects, no machinery, maybe just a costume like what I'm wearing right now, but, live action. Also, I know I never really say this before every time I do a random review, but I should. Whoever hasn't seen these films that I'm going to do, please don't watch because obviously there might be spoilers, or there probably will be spoilers. So let's get down to it. Here's my top 10 favourite live-action villains that probably will contain spoilers. You have been warned. Noel White from Harry Brown. Noel White is played by the singer Plan B. That's right, he's played by a singer, a British singer, in a British movie called Harry Brown, starring Michael Caine. This film is amazing. I love Harry Brown. My dad introduced me to this film, and it's just brilliant. Such an amazing, proper British thriller. But Noel White, the character who's played by Plan B, steals the film immediately by playing this really horrible, nasty piece of work. Noel White is the main antagonist as he kills Harry Brown's best friend, and Michael Caine is determined to get revenge on him. That's the other thing I love about this film as well, is it's a proper revenge movie, and I love revenge films, like Dead Man's Shoes as well, for example. But anyway, Noel White, his character is just, he's a character you just really do want to kill if you ever met him in real life. This character kills Michael Caine's best friend. So when you see him and you knew it was him and everything, it's like, I hope he doesn't get away with it. But at the same time, he's a really scary guy. But what I love about this villain is that, even though he's evil, it's Plan B's performance that does it so well. Okay, let's move on to number 9. Riddle me this and riddle me that. Who's afraid of the big black bat? That's right, Jim Carrey's The Riddler in Batman Forever is number 9. Hope you like my Jim Carrey impression, by the way. I love Jim Carrey's performance as the Riddler. He's a proper psycho, but hides it so well behind that, cheesy grin. He's like, oh, I'm so innocent, I'm such an innocent person, but really he's dark and evil and so comical as well. That's what I love about his performance, is that he's comical, he's funny, he's likeable, he's insane, and he's a murderer. He's a murderous lunatic. And, most people probably think Jim Carrey as a Batman villain, but he done it so well. Okay, let's move on to number 8. A very underrated performance here, but such an amazing one. Norman Bates in Psycho. This character, it's kind of like as well with the Riddler. He looks innocent, looks charming, and then bang, he then turns murderous. But this is what I love about the performance. The character of Norman Bates just looks like such an innocent young man, and in a way, we kind of feel sorry for him at the end when we found out what happened to him, because apparently he had a very bad childhood, and then all of a sudden he just slowly turned into this mother obsessive maniac who kills women in the shower. Ling, 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 ling. It's an amazing scene. It's classic. It's brilliant. And the performance as well by Anthony Perkins is fantastic. He knew how to play that role. Shame about the rubbish sequels afterwards. That sadly had to ruin it. But we're sticking with the first film. And Norman Bates in the first film is an incredible psycho. So, Anthony Perkins, may you rest in peace. You did a fantastic job in Psycho. It's a shame your performance is so underrated, but the fact that you see this innocent, charming grin and then slowly killing women in the shower is just a classic movie cinema. And I must say that we all go a little mad sometimes. Sorry, I just had to say a line from Psycho. But yeah, Norman Bates makes it to number 8. It's one of my top 10 favourite villains. Let's move on to number 7. One of my favourite villains I've ever loved, ever since I was a kid, actually, and I grew up with Gladiator. Commodus is the evil son of the Emperor, who kills his father in cold blood so he can get the crown to rule ancient Rome. And it doesn't go very well. Again, this is a massive revenge movie. And the performance from Joaquin Phoenix? Or Joaquin Phoenix, who plays Commodus? That's the villain that really makes good movie history. The guy is evil, he's just greedy. He wants to take the crown. He wants to rule ancient Rome. All right, let's move on to number 6. I've been looking for you, Harry Potter. That's right. Number 6 is Lord Voldemort. Lord Voldemort, played by Ralph Fiennes. My God, what a performance. I'll never forget when I first saw Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. I was 13. I just turned 13. When I was really excited to find out what Lord Voldemort would look like. And obviously he wasn't at all as I was expecting, but is a creepy villain. But also what's creepy is the fact that even though we see the films and obviously we've read the books and stuff, there are times where we know he's out there. He's out there and we don't know where he is. That's what I love about Voldemort, is that he's very suspenseful. And then when he finally does arrive, it's like worth the wait. And then he, tries to kill Harry. And then there's that big battle in Deathly Hallows Part 2, which I thought was absolutely epic. The finale of the Harry Potter was just brilliant. And also, when Voldemort died, chills were literally going down my spine, because all I could think about was, do you remember when, we first saw him and now all of a sudden now he's gone? It's just, wow, I can't believe it. Okay, let's move on to number 5. Max Cady in the remake of Cape Fear, directed by Martin Scorsese. This is a very terrible villain. I mean, he's one of my favourites because he's manipulative, and again, he has a split personality, but he uses that to his advantage. He knows how to push buttons. He knows what words to say, and he knows what he's doing. Even if it's not planned, he knows what he's doing. He just thinks it and thinks, yep, that's the idea, I'm going to do it. Max Cady is a rapist. He starts off as a rapist. He went to prison, and he comes out, and again, it's a revenge movie, but it's a revenge movie of the villain trying to attack the protagonist. Martin Scorsese knows how to direct a creepy movie. Okay, now let's go on to number 4. I find this woman even more creepier than Max Cady. Do you know why? Because she's probably the scariest woman villain probably ever created. Annie Wilkes from Stephen King's Misery. is a woman you would not want to cross, even if she did save your life, and even if she is a nurse. If she's your biggest fan, that's when you have to try and get away for your life. The scene where she puts that plank of wood between Paul Sheldon's feet and then gets the sledgehammer and smacks them, that makes me cringe every time I watch it. I mean, yeah, she's not a woman you want to meet at all. She's not, yeah. Annie Wilkes makes it to number 4, as you can see. Very scary character. Okay, let's move on to number 3. Alex from A Clockwork Orange is number 3. And I'm sitting here talking to you just like he did in the beginning of the film. Sorry guys, I just had to do a reference. Clockwork Orange, one of my favourite films of all time. Alex, the main antagonist? No, he's not a protagonist. This guy is actually an antagonist. Even though he's the protagonist, he's the main character of the film and the book, I still think of him as the main villain. And then, of course, what happens is he goes around, he hurts people, he rapes women, he sings Singing in the Rain while he's doing it. And then, luckily, when he attacks his gang betray him. And then, all of a sudden, he goes to prison for 2 years. And then, the government use him to turn from bad to good. And then you feel sorry for him. And then, all of a sudden, the people he hurt get him. I mean, you know, it's kind of like a mix of the brains, really. You don't know whether to feel sorry for him or to hate him. Film is just amazing. I mean, obviously, I'm a huge fan of Stanley Kubrick, as you can probably tell from my previous videos. And also, as well, I just love Malcolm McDowell's performance as Alex. It's such an amazing performance, and it's never been highly underrated. I mean, sometimes it's been a little bit underrated, but it has been mostly noted as one of his best performances ever. And you know what? I can see why. Because his character is just amazing. Plus that voice, the narration. Yeah, that's why Alex has made it as number 3 in my top 10 live action favourite villains, because he is definitely one of my favourites. Okay, we're almost done. Let's get to number 2. It was actually inspired by Clockwork Orange, this performance. That's what Heath Ledger said anyway. He said he got it from Alex from A Clockwork Orange, and then all of a sudden, he's now gone to here. Number 2. Yeah, the Joker. Heath Ledger. Of course, everyone loves this performance. It's the most highly rated performance ever. Was not just talk. He was action. And, you know, he was the type of guy to say that action speaks louder than words, not words speak louder than action. You know what I mean? He was the type of guy who knew what he was doing. Plus, as well, very manipulative at times when he did use his words. And also, if you beat him up, he still laughs. You trap him in chains, he just laughs. He doesn't care what happens to him. He literally just goes about his life, and he knows that he's winning. No matter how many times he thinks he's been outnumbered or anything like that, he always is winning. And to be honest, he never loses. Even when he gets captured, he's never lost. You know what I mean? He never loses. Okay, now let's move on to who's my number 1 favourite live action villain. Let's take a look. Well, hello, Clarice. That's right. Hannibal Lecter, Anthony Hopkins, The Silence of the Lambs. I mean, every time I watch this film, I can never get my eyes off the screen as soon as Hannibal Lecter's there. Anthony Hopkins, such an amazing actor. This is definitely his best role he's probably ever done. Also along with Hitchcock as well. I mean, Anthony Hopkins has done so many great films, but Hannibal Lecter is definitely the most notable role he's ever done. The character is evil. He's very most manipulative villain ever. He's polite. He's kind when he talks to you. And then when he lashes out, he's like a pit bull that sinks your teeth into your arm. He won't let go. And that's what he is. And also as well, he knows exactly how to get into your mind and just twist it around. And even that as well, you know, he knows exactly what he's doing. Hannibal Lecter is literally a comedian. He just changes no matter what. It's absolutely amazing. But that's what I love about Hannibal Lecter. He's evil. He knows how to change his attitude. He knows when to strike at the right moment. And he knows exactly what to say. Plus, he wins as well every conversation. Not wins like the Joker does, as in wins in just words and actions and stuff. Hannibal Lecter wins because he knows exactly what words to say. And that is why he is number 1, because he just knows exactly how to get into your head. Plus the performance from Anthony Hopkins, I love it over every other villain I've probably ever seen. So that is why he makes it as my number one, my top 10 movie live action villains. I've said that wrong, haven't I? Sorry, you know what I mean. Okay, guys, so if any of your villains made the list, I hope they did. If not, please tell us who your favourite live action villain is. Please don't say any animated ones. Please tell me who your live action ones are. Please comment and subscribe and let me know. And also as well, my next video will be my top 10 animated films, okay? So I'm going to talk to, I've started from live action, I'll talk about my animation one. So that will be my next video coming up. I don't know when I'll upload it, but I'll try and upload it as soon as possible. But I hope you like my robber's, oh, hang on a minute. I hope you like my robber's costume. There we go. And I hope to hear from you guys soon. So thanks, guys. And I am Reese. I've just given you a random review and a random countdown.